camera's wonky. Hello, my name's Katie and welcome to my shed. It's Easter Sunday and I've been doing lots of gardening. I say lots, you know, maybe about an hour. And I need to tidy up the shed because it's an absolute pickle. I don't know if you can see, I've got chainsaw attachments. I mean, little chainsaw, not big one. I've been chopping down bits of tree and it's just stuff everywhere. So I need to have a tidy and then I'll come back to you in a minute. I have had a bit of a tidy in here today, so I don't think you can see it's tidier, but I can see a bit of carpet. So I feel a little bit smug and pleased with myself. And today I want to swatch out and just have a little bit of a play with some products. I think I popped it in the title that it was a haul, but I mean it is a haul if you see all the stuff that we've bought. But the Brusho was my friend's art materials, so it's something she'd used and I have never used it. I know it's sort of meant to be quite good for mixed media, but it looks a little bit messy for me. I'll show you it in a minute. But I'm intrigued because I think it might be quite useful for some mixed media work. We're running a workshop later in the year on florals, so sort of watercolours and mixed media, and I feel like this might be quite fun to bring out there. So I want to have a little bit of an understanding and understand what the colours do, because I've heard that they do strange things. So let me show you what we've got. So I think the neighbour's dogs are getting in a fight. There's I think 36 different colours here for us to try. There might be some duplicates. I think there's two greys. I wonder if they're the same. Yeah, so that's a duplicate. Two violets. One of those. I think that's it from a duplicate point of view. So we'll write them, I will write them out and then we'll have a little test together and see what's what. Okay, so should we start with the reds? Why not? So this one's crimson. I'll just write it out first. Do you know what, I'm going to write them all out first and then come back. Let's pop you on time lapse. Okay, so I've done the first page and I managed to pick a crusty brush, haven't I? A rusty brush. Let's pop some water out. Right. I believe you only need a tiny little dribble of these. Okay, I need to stand so you can see it. So, that looks pretty standard. I do quite like the way it's moving around. Ooh, that's a bit too zoomed in. I'm going to shut the door because it's quite noisy outside today. The problem with it being sunny is that everybody is out. Do you think that's enough? Okay. I'm not going to try and paint with it, but I'm sure you can. Right, alizarin crimson, one of my favourite colours. Certainly in the... Oh, whoops. So it does come out quite fast. Let's get a little dry brush and brush that off. We'll be finding that for weeks now, aren't I? What would happen if I put a little drop of water on it, because that's... I've got to swap brushes, I don't like that one. It's not holding any water. Okay. I went a bit heavy on it, didn't I? So that's not. See, the problem with it gets everywhere, doesn't it? So that isn't scarlet at all. Do scarlet over here. Draw a little arrow because I'll never remember that is the same stuff. Okay, brilliant red. I feel like I need to be super careful now. It's just that it gets everywhere. My goodness. Oh, that's a very lovely colour. Yeah, look, I love the way it's moving around. That's really cool. If I blow it. No, it's not that sensitive. Yeah, I'm not sure it's good stuff for swatching because it just gets everywhere, which means that the colours are getting mixed already before I've even started. This one looks quite dark, like it's got some purples in it or something. Tissue. I was going to get tissue, but actually I think a little bit of masking tape will pull the pigment off better. So I'll just dab it on there. I don't know if you can see how small amount I'm using, but it's tiny. So a little. It would be quite good for workshops because it would last forever, I think. That's not that different to the brilliant red, is it? Okay, rose red with a touch of something else in it. I mean, this looks very similar as well. I'm not sure there's enough in it to justify having this many colours. Sounds like my neighbour's doing some heavy gardening next door. Yeah, that one is very similar to the crimson, I think. I was expecting it to be a lot more pink. Goodness, I'm filthy already, I've barely started. And terracotta. It doesn't look, I mean, it's quite dark for a terracotta, I would say. Yep, a little bit more orange, and then we were going to go back in with the scarlet, weren't we? Which looks a lot more orangey than the others. Masking tape's working quite well. I'm just, you can't see, but I'm just dabbing the skewer onto it. Do you know what? For somebody, i.e. me, who doesn't like, and I'm not really a fan of this bleeding and all that sort of stuff, but actually I do like this. I love the alizarin crimson, obviously. And maybe if I went a bit heavier with some of these colours, I would like those more. So, yeah. Strongly pigmented. Right, let's go in with the Prussian blue. Next. So let's see how that goes. That is lovely. I do love the Prussian blue. That swirling it's done is very cool. Turquoise is next. Oh, that's odd. It's like, if you can see, it's got granules in. So it's like two colours mixed in. That's odd. Okay, so I think that's exactly what it is. I think it's probably Prussian blue mixed with something else. But it's much more granular, like salty almost, than the others. Get some of this red off. Okay, ultramarine is next. With a bit red, obviously. Just like a little bit of going around. It's quite hard to see the colour, isn't it? It's dark. That's nice, very purple. I feel like that needed a shake or something. Move it around a bit. You can see that there's like this two colours there, purple. But it's like purple with turquoise, isn't it? Just gonna mix them a bit. See if we can actually get the ultramarine. There we go. So I wonder if you need to give them a bit of, or if I need to give them a bit of a shake before I put them on. Okay, Ost Blue. I'm not really sure. My friend popped pins in some of them. I'm sure she knew what she was doing. She's obviously used some of the colours a lot more than others. That's another very purpley one. Not that dissimilar. It looks like it's got the same colours in as the ultramarine actually. As well. I'll get some more water. Do the cobalt and then I'll go and change the water. If anyone finds this interesting, I suspect I find it quite interesting, particularly as it's products that I've never used before, just to see what's what. These blues are very odd, aren't they? how they clearly have different colours in and need a bit of a stir almost. I feel like that pigment would just go on and on forever. Right, I'm going to pause you quickly and go and change the water. Okay, let's do some violet. I'm going to wash that. You can still see there's some dregs there. Just looks like a dust colour, like ashes. Like that's almost like an alizarin. Not an alizarin. What's the word? Dioxazine. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah. Dioxazine one. Rather than the violet. Wow. That. If only I was a fan of a happy accident. Very cool. Black. Also do some black over here, or the red, or whatever's over here already, because I want to test the white out over it, over something. See what happens. That is bonkers though, because you couldn't see there was any colour on there, could you? Let's picked it up. Okay, so this one's the black. That isn't black, that's all sorts of colours, that's very odd. You see that? I'm going to have to stir it around because I mean it's not black, that's for sure. It's kind of a very dark amber maybe? Just going to leave that there to do its thing, and then I can pop the white over the top of that. And grey. I don't know. I don't know if the colour will lift. Like if I work over the top of them. This is kind of got a green tint to it. It's got orange in it. Orange and red, purple. Again, not really a grey. Open. Oh, goodness me. I might just put some up there as well. Oh, goodness me. It's just pigment everywhere. This is very well cleaned. Okay. Don't think we'll see it on the paper. If we put some over the black and red here, it's just like chalk, it's not really absorbing. That is odd. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It's not really doing anything, is it? Okay, let's swap the pages around. So let's start with the olive green. Okay, well that's orange, so that's odd. Let's see what happens when I put it down. Really strange. I'm just getting a bit of tape. Cleaning my skewer. Odd. It's really weird. Okay. Just tilt that a little bit. It's another one that kind of needs mixing. I mean, it's quite interesting with the, but a bit odd. Moss green. I'm gonna have to. They're not quite in the right places because that olive green has. Oh, and this one's yellow as well. It's kind of like mustard colour. This one's moss green. They're really odd. I'm trying to think. I mean, they might be quite interesting for some landscapes, some sort of abstract landscapes, but you definitely. Oh goodness me! Lime green is bright orange. Be really interested to know how they make these because it's not what you'd think, is it? And when it's going down, there's some sort of green in there and a bit of turquoise. The red, I think, is me. Well, I know the red is me. I wouldn't say that's particularly limey, but maybe it is when you. Yeah, a little bit limey. That moss green is still very odd. Right, emerald green. I wonder what colour this is going to be when I open it. Another orange. I'm guessing they've kind of got the orange and the blue pigments in together and that's how it works, but you can barely see any blue in there. Although when you pop it down on the paper it shows up, doesn't it? But that's quite a nice colour down this end. It's a bit like there. Oh, I don't know. There's a bit of me that thinks, oh, I quite like this. And other bits, it freaks me out a bit. Leaf green's next. brush, my new favourite tool. I'm quite liking these sort of scratchy marks in them. I mean, can you imagine trying to take them out plein air? That'd be awful. That would be everywhere. Right, what's next? Sea green. Quite intrigued with this one. It literally looks like I've been out in the garden and picked up some dirt. Well, first instance is very blue. These marks are great. I'm going to go back to my reds. I wonder how they'll mix as well. That's quite interesting. Right. Before we get into all the mixing, let's just get them swatched out. Yellow ochre is next. Goodness me, that shouldn't be so hard to... Oh, it's not been opened. It's not me being completely windy. And that's what I'd expect, so that's reassuring. Quite a lot of oranges in it. That's vermilion. Quite red. I probably should have put it with the reds, but the little swatch on the lid looked quite more orange, so I was like, oh, I'll put it with the oranges. It's quite similar to the terracotta, isn't it? But interestingly, when my friends swatched it out, it's quite orange. Next is Gambogi. That's lovely. Get the pencil for this one because I'm a bit heavy on it. And interestingly, it's not as nice in the pot. That looked really lovely, and then on here it's not quite as nice as the others. Okay, what's next? Yellow. Which actually looks quite orange on the top of the lid. There is a lemon yellow though, so... Oops, I'm a bit heavy there, sorry. I don't know if this is just because they're quite old. There's quite a lot of pigments in there that aren't dissolving. don't think that's meant to be the case, but maybe it is. Lemon. Doesn't look very lemony. Looks pretty similar to the Gambogi actually. It is more lemon. You see the little speckles in it? I don't know if that's meant to be in there or not. And some orange. Oh, whoopsie. Maybe I'm just done. That's not very orange though, is it? It's very red. That's the wrong thing. What's this? It's a tiny bit more water, but I don't really want to touch with the brush. Messier, aren't I? And then let's get on to the browns. So we've got a dark brown here. What we've got there, some purples, some reds, a bit of orange. Light brown. You can see all the different bits in this. So there's sort of different sized pigments. Not massive difference between that and the dark brown, is there? Brown sienna. Got that redness to it that you'd expect. That's quite nice. Nice colour. And then the last one is called Sandstone. I'm not sure what that's going to be like. On the top it's just looked like a greeny brown colour. It's kind of got oranges and reds in it. Just mix that around a bit and see what happens. Dribble of water. I mean, that's great, it's like fiery. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to lay out a square of water. We're going to see if we can mix some colours on here. Better for that. I wonder if we can do like a basis of some kind of a landscape and see what happens. If I get some of these, like the olive, we don't want a hair on there, do we? Just not quite wet enough. Bit of olive and a bit of the leaf green. And then the cobalt. The paper's just not wet enough, or I should probably be doing it on some flat paper, shouldn't I? Bit of the cobalt. And I'd quite like maybe the sandstone down the bottom. I see a bit of the colours mixing. Ooh, maybe jump. A bit of the colours mixing. I'm just going to go in with a little bit of spray over those. Encourage them to mix a bit more. See what happens. This is very, very blue. Oh, where's the white? The white really did a lot, but not sure what's going on outside. Sounds like they're building a house or something. I feel like I want to lift some of this up a bit, but it's quite disgusting, isn't it? It's interesting, it does dry quite quick. But that's not coming off, is it? Move this a little bit around. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry, and then we'll come back in a little while and we'll go through all the swatches and have a little look at this as well. Okay, it's mostly dry. I'm not going to say it's completely dry because that would be a lie. And I've got my trusty, for those of you that didn't watch my video on watercolour pencils, these are some really old, they must be like 20 years old, I guess, W.H. Smith's watercolour pencils. And I thought they were one of the best out of all the lot we tried. There's not that many colours, but yeah, quite a lot. I'm going to use the white. I'm going to see if we can knock this back a bit, maybe with the white and grey. We'll see what we can do. I might have to go in with something a little bit more. Let's just chewing the paper up. Give me a sec. Okay, I've pulled out my very, very old Sakura oil pastel set. So they're probably 30 years old, because I need something a bit softer to try and work with this, because the paper is still quite wet. Not all of these pastels, I mean, I have no idea where they've come from. Do you think this is another lesson in patience? Me not having any. What are we doing? Let's get some head shapes in here. I might make that some darks if I don't think I've even got any darks. What's this? This is a proper mess. I've got the Inktense. So this is an Inktense stick. I'm just going to see what that does over it. Particularly as it's quite wet, they're just a bit softer than those oils. It's a shame I haven't got like a white or a light blue or something like that on the Inktense. That's about as ugly as it's going to be, isn't it? Do you know what I don't like? It's the blue. It's the rest of it I don't mind, because that is chewed up. I can't really do anything about that. I think this is where we stop. She said, I'm going to get the watercolour pencil, just so you know. So I don't know how to stop, even when I say I'm going to stop. Because I just want some sharper lines on here. Put a bit more of the detail. Where I can. Obviously this bit here is so soggy I can't do anything there. But I mean, please forgive me for this, but actually there's bits of it I quite like. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously I should have left it to dry a little bit longer. Let me shut the door. Sunny days clearly mean motorbikes. Yeah, I should have left it to dry because I couldn't do any detail here and here because it was just too wet. And I know I shouldn't like this because it's pretty ugly, but there's bits about it that I do like. I like this passage here and these sort of, it's dry now, let's take my hands. Yeah, I quite like this. The blue was awful. I just shouldn't have used that. I should have maybe watercolour or just left that white or something, I'm not sure. I like that you can get very dark green, you know, you can get the darks can be really dark. I like that. And it dried pretty quick so that I could work over it. Yeah, it's strange really around here. Can you see where it's separated out? So you've got this sort of yellow. That was the emerald green that's separated out. Yeah, so there we go. There's a quick little moody landscape using Brusho, oil pastels, what have I used, inktense and watercolour pencils. What we'll do is we'll go back now and just have a look at the swatch pages. All right, now let's see what do we think about these. I'm going to get something to point with. So that one isn't scarlet, that one is the alizarin crimson. There's bits that I quite like. I like the intensity of the colours, obviously because it's just so heavily pigmented. I don't like the fact that if you can't be precise at all with it because you get these splatters here where the colours mix. And this one I thought was dry, well, fairly dry by the time we used this, but it's clearly gone on it anyway. This Ostred is lovely. Terracotta's a bit wishy-washy, but that might just be down to this not going in properly. Not a fan of these blues, but the Prussian I like because you can get a really nice dark with it. What I didn't do is mix white with any of these before I put them down. That might have, I don't know what that would do to it, so that might be something worth experimenting with in the future. The violet, not a fan. I quite like this purple, but you can see how it's split out, so I'm sure it's got its place. You wouldn't want it, I'm trying to think when I would use it, maybe florals or something like that, where you want this sort of gradient and these different colours. The black is excellent. That's dried so much better than I thought it would, because if you remember when I was swatching it, it didn't look black at all, but now it's dried really black, almost like an Indian ink colour. The grey, less so, but not sure what's happened there. It's just sort of, yeah, not a fan of that. And this was white over the top of some red and some black, so it has knocked that black back a bit. And this was where I sort of mixed it and painted over the top. And then I think this page is probably more successful. The greens I really like, not so much the sea green, not sure where I'd use that, but these ones I think will be really nice for landscapes. Even the lime green, which isn't really limey, it's just kind of a mixture of the emerald and this moss green, I think. But I think they would be quite fun for landscapes. And I do really like these marks that you can get with it. And then, not fussed with the yellows and oranges and the vermilion. I would leave them really. Again, they might be okay for florals, but can you see here? They're like grainy. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really like that. And I quite like these earth tones as well. So the sandstone is quite fun. mixture of the orange really and a burnt sienna, I think. I really like the burnt sienna. I think that would be great for landscape. And these as well, not that there's much differentiation between them. I think the dark brown's just got a bit more red in it. And the light brown's maybe orange based. But I'm going to bring you a bit closer because I don't think you can see it. But if you look at the detail on this light brown, there's a really good mixture here of lines where I've been scratching into it, as well as these sort of more painterly lines. So I quite like this. This colour is quite luxurious as well. So mixing that burnt sienna with the purple might be interesting as well. Yes. Right. What do you think? I mean, have you ever used Brusho? What do you use it for? I think it is just a sort of mixed media fun thing. Okay, so that was me messing around with these. I've forgotten the name of them already. I've repressed it because it was so traumatic. Brushos. Yeah, so here's what we've done. Done that. Actually, it wasn't that traumatic. This page was okay, and from here the colours look lovely. Those bottom ones look horrible on that side, and then my little play of mixed media landscape. I'm not sure it's going to be my new medium of choice. I can't even cope with watercolours. I definitely can't cope with this, can I? But I think, you know, it's a handy thing to have in my kit, and maybe if I'm working bigger, it might be a bit more fun because it'll be easier to keep the pigments away from each other. So maybe if I'm working bigger, it might be more fun. I would be interested to see how they react on top of watercolour, and if I'd have left that little sketch to dry, I might have been able to get a bit more refinement to it. But I wasn't going to do that, was I? So anyway, let me know, have you used Brusho before? Do you use it in, you know, in what ways do you use it? Can you think of any ways that might be useful for me as a artist who doesn't like accidents? I'm gonna, because Lou and I both bought all the art stuff off of our friend, I'll send them over Lou's way, and it'll be interesting to see how she uses them, because she is much more experimental than me, and I think it would probably suit her work a bit more than mine. But ultimately what we're going to use them for will be for workshops, because I think for other people to play with, they're good fun, and if you're just there to experiment and play and let loose, I think they'll be a really good tool for us to use for that. And you could probably get some quite exciting results with them if you know how to use them, or if you're not afraid to have a bit of a play. And we know that play is hard for me. I'm trying. Hope you had a lovely Easter, and let me know if you like to use Brusho and in what way you use it. That would be really interesting for me to see, and, you know, link some of your work, or if you're on YouTube, link your page so that I can see how to maybe embrace it a little bit more. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you soon.